Welcome back to another edition of When We Get Something, You Get Something. Frank, why don't you tell the viewers at home with one lucky winner's going to win?
How about an entire set of custom fit T-Series Titleist irons?
Wow.
All right, you guys remember this phase from our last fitting. Kevin, how long ago was that? About a year and a half?
It was last August.
That's right. Last August. So we did the full Titleist bag fitting. Today we're back for the new T-Series irons. And Kevin, the one thing I wanted to ask you was, what is the difference in the experience of someone working with someone you fit before? Well, we've even done some lessons before.
Right.
So last time we saw you were coming in fresh. Now you've got that baseline. What different approach do you have to a fitting?
Actually, nothing. Same approach. I want to see what you come with, how you're performing with your current irons. You guys have obviously changed your swing since I last saw you, so we may need to tweak the shaft or a different lie angle or something. So I mean, it's nice to have a little bit of history. Yeah. But I'm going to go in kind of fresh with no expectations and see what you guys perform with and where we go.
I love it. And one big thing for me driving over here, I was thinking to myself, is it time to get rid of the hybrids and put a 3 and 4 iron in the bag? You're going to be the one to tell us that.
Yeah, and what's nice about this new line is they have a new line of utility clubs, which for the players that don't like hybrids, like myself, it's a hybrid replacement now. Yeah. So they got the U510 and the U500. Gotcha. So I think we may, for you, that might fall right in the line for you.
There we go. Look, you got to try everything. Remember, for me, we put the hybrid in my bag last time. I didn't even want to try it. You pushed me, and now it's my favorite club.
Your favorite club.
Yeah. So it just shows you something. The other thing I wanted to ask you, I know you made the switch recently to the T-Series. Yep. Tell us a little bit about what the difference is and what we should expect to see.
I don't want to tell you what to expect. I want this to be a surprise.
Okay, I like it.
So, you know, they've
But we have 3 options to work with,
You have 3 options. You have the T300, the T200, and T100. The T100 is more of the player's forge club. The T200 more of a player's distance club. And the 300 is your maximum forgiveness game improvement club.
Okay. Do you want to guess and see where we might fall in?
Nope.
No. He's leaving all the table. I like it. I like it.
We're probably not going to go. Is they also have a new 620 CB and 620 MB head.
I saw those are pretty.
Which are the kind of the tour level heads. Yeah. We're probably not going to go that route, but we may try. But you never know. Look, you never know. I've had people come in and we've tried them, and they actually perform better than T100s. Okay. So again, everything's on the table.
And like our last fitting, we've got some shaft options too. We're going to explore.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm excited. So where do we start? What's the first thing?
We'll get you guys warmed up, and then we're going to get a baseline with your current 7 iron. Okay. And that's where we'll start.
We got the TrackMan set up, I see. The range is ready to go. Yep. We're ready.
We're ready to fire it up.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go. All right, so just like last fitting, Mike is going to kick us off here. We're a little bit warmed up, ready to get a baseline with the current AP3 irons, which, by the way, we both have quite enjoyed.
Absolutely. Right. The game has gotten so much better in the last year. Dispersion, distance, I mean, handicaps have dropped.
So the obvious question is going to be this, all right? You're happy with the AP3s. What do you expect to get out of this fitting?
I want to tighten things up a little bit. Okay. I want to reevaluate my distances, things like that. I want to see how the ball reacts off this new club compared to the baseline we're going to get from the AP3s. Right. I'm just curious about distance.
And you talked about possibly making a change at the top with the hybrid. Utility.
Yeah. So I've been hitting. Sometimes I pull your 4 iron out of the bag instead of using my hybrid. That's how bad it is. So I'm curious to see if the 4 iron should go in the bag and take the utility out, or the hybrid out.
Perfect. All right. Cool. Me personally, my goal would be, like I said, I've been very happy with the AP3s. Had them about a year and a half now, and playing my best golf. My handicap is as low as it's ever been, down to an 11. However, I'm always of the idea I don't want to leave anything on the table. So if I can get something a little bit more out of the T-Series, I'll be very happy. I'm going to go for that. Plus, a lot of you have been asking us since the T-Series dropped. You've been asking us, messaging us, when are we going to try them? When are we going to test them? So I'm incredibly excited because today is finally that day. Let's go see what Mike is doing.
I'm gonna rip up this entire sod here. So let's call 811 before we get started, all right?
I got a whole buttload of sod to fill back into this.
We're gonna need it. We're gonna need it.
He schedules his sod deliveries for right after your fittings. Yeah.
Like I said, Frank should have probably gone first, so he doesn't have to stand in your hole. All right, let's hit a few. Let's hit a few shots, get a baseline. Every shot gives us information, so even if you don't hit it well, because when we're fitting, we're not really fitting for the perfect shot. I'm actually fitting for the bad shot to make sure it's not, we can make it less bad. One of the things you had said, you want better dispersion, and that's actually one of the keys for the new Titleist T series is to improve dispersion.
There we go. Okay.
Today's motto is less bad, Mike.
Suck less.
A wrist injury last night.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
By the way, if you're noticing that ace bandage on Mike's wrist, it's because he injured himself last night, and he texted me at about 11 o'clock last night that he hurt himself trying to pull a mattress out of his attic. Come on, day before a fitting? Come on. But he tells me he can swing. He can swing.
So you can definitely see your dispersions right and left, which is a sign of a good player. Right and left dispersion. We don't want front and back dispersion.
Okay.
Okay. So but we definitely want to tighten that up. If we just look at the average of all your numbers here. Okay. So club speed, we know you hit down on it a lot, down 8. Pretty good numbers otherwise. You know, your spin's on the low side because you hit down on it a lot. So we definitely can add a little bit of spin to it.
Okay.
Average carries down from what it should be. Now, the climate has a lot to do with that. It's 55 degrees out. If we take out the climate, it goes 13 yards farther. That tells you how much.
How interesting is that?
Yeah, yeah. Right, if I take
Playing off on a hot day, folks.
if I normalize it, to where it's 77 degrees, you pick up 13 yards, and I take the wind out. We're also into the wind. So when people see that carry number, like I really hit it 170.
Right.
Well, actually today you don't, because you're hitting it 155 into the wind.
Yeah. Got
and
it.
in the cold air. So
that's really cool.
I'm just waiting for the day when Kevin can control the actual weather. Can you make it a little bit warmer and less windy out here? Thanks.
So we're going to kind of base off of this. We're going to try to get your height up a little bit.
Okay. What's a good height number?
At your club speed, which is over 90, I would say 90 feet in the air.
Okay.
Would be a good number.
Okay.
Maybe even a little bit higher. Some of that we can do through the ball. Now, our range balls spin a little bit less than a regular Pro V, so I take that into account.
Okay.
About 500 RPMs, so that's something. So the ball will go a little bit higher with a regular ball, but that's still low flight, low spin.
Got it. Okay.
So we're going to kind of go from there and see if we can get a little bit better with it.
I like it. So where are you going to start me? The 100s?
Yeah, okay. I am going to start because the 100s will spin more.
Okay.
And with your speed, I don't think you're going to need the distance of the 200 or the 300, unless you want to hit it really freaking far and then have a great short game.
That's true. So the 100s, going back to what you said earlier, those are more of the gamers irons, kind of same as the AP2s.
Yeah, very similar to the AP2,
which we didn't get last time. So okay.
Right. Yeah, it's a forged cavity back club. It's got some forgiveness in it. They actually put some tungsten in the toe and the heel to increase the MOI, but it's a small little head. And they've cambered the bottom sole a little bit, so it goes through the turf a little bit better. That's what they're hearing from the tour players. So it's got really good turf interaction. The spin will be a little bit higher for you.
So throwing it all out the window that I don't have to be a tour player to fit into the T100s.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I noticed this, Kevin, when you did the driver fitting with us. You started with the same shaft with a new head, and then you worked from there.
Correct.
Okay.
I want to make it feel pretty similar to what you're used to. And so just by going with the same shaft, so the only difference here really is the head. And then we get to see, is it the head that's performing differently, or is it the shaft?
All right, guys. T100 irons, 7-iron. Let's give it a shot. Sold. We're done.
All right, put it in the trunk. Put it in the trunk.
For some weird reason, it just feels like a smoother contact. I don't know.
And they've done that throughout the whole line too.
Yeah.
But it definitely improved the turf interaction.
Yeah, I can feel that immediately.
They have a pre-worn leading edge on the bottom, so it doesn't quite catch the turf as much. So we haven't hit as many shots with yours, but couple things I've noticed. Club speed, angle of attack, everything's kind of stayed the same. Launch angle's up, spins up 700 RPMs on average. Height's about the same. You hit one or two really low ones. And your distance is the same. Okay, but what I like about it is because the spin's up, if you look at the difference between the yellow circle, which is the T-100, and then I'm going to pull up your other irons, look at the dispersion difference.
Right. Wow.
It's huge. You had these 3 shots that are way out to the right, which you didn't get with this. The only thing we changed was the head. Shaft is the same. Okay, so we went from the AP3 to the T-100, and you improved your dispersion. I think one of the things I like that you said, as a player, it feels better going through the curve.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
And I think as a player myself, that's an exciting feel. That's awesome. I love
the first thing I noticed. It struck the first one. I said, wow, that is different.
And the first thing I noticed was
spin rate.
Same shaft, spin went up 700 RPMs, which for you is tremendous because you're going to be able to hold greens more easily.
Exactly.
All right, so what's the next step? A new shaft here.
So we're trying a different shaft to see if I can get a little bit more trajectory out of them without increasing the spin too much. We're going to go to a Modus 120, pretty similar weight, and just see if we can get a little bit more trajectory out of you. I put a lot of stock into the first shot with a new club because you don't have time to adapt to it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So
spin was the same as the other 5300. 80 feet. What's even more important is your land angle improved. You went from a 43-degree descent to a 49-degree. And that's just going to make you right. That's how you hold greens more.
Yeah.
The same attack, higher launch, same spin, same carry, or actually a little bit farther. Okay. Better descent angle.
That's a shot right there. That is a shot.
One of the things that I never like to hear as a coach or a fitter is I have to get used to the new clubs. I can get used to them. Well, then they're not right. They should go right in the bag. You shouldn't have to adapt to them. The club should fit right in.
They should go right in the bag.
That my feeling is that works. So that setup right there, is good. Now I'm going to see if there's maybe that's the best, maybe it's not. So we're going to try another shaft.
Another shaft.
See if we can find something that even a little bit better.
Okay.
The 300s. We'll try them so you can try them.
Sure.
Because I think you need to try everything. Because there's no reason why you can't go to a blended set. You know, the 300s are very forgiving, and for a 3 and a 4 iron, that's what you're looking for, is something that gets up in the air and is forgiveness. So you may want to go to the 3 and a 4 iron in the T300. Obviously, we'll try the utilities.
It's not a bad idea.
But you may want to go that route.
So as Mike works his way through testing a couple different shafts there, I think I want to just kind of highlight, because it's something that's very important that I even learned and had not crossed my mind previous to working with Kevin. A lot of times when we think we're going with an iron set, we go all the way through the set, 4 iron through pitching wedge or whatever. But another benefit of the fitting is what he had said, kind of mixing and matching. So perhaps you need a little bit more forgiveness and want that distance out of the higher irons, like the 3 iron and the 4 iron. That's where you may go with something like the T300, which is going to be the biggest distance and forgiving head. But then maybe when you move down, maybe what performs a little bit better with your mid irons, or your 8, 9 is going to be something like what Mike is working with the T100. So again, it's another big benefit of working with a fitter versus just buying it off of a rack. Now there's a lot of technology obviously in these clubs, so even off the rack they're going to perform pretty darn well, but when you can start to just really dial it in from that shaft and that the way you think the way through the bag, I think that's important. So I wanted to really highlight that because it was something that I had learned going through the last fitting, and it's really stuck with me.
It got worse.
It got worse.
So we noticed right away the contact wasn't as good. You immediately said it felt a little heavier, which it is. I actually went up a little. I went to flex out. This is a 6.5. You've been in a 6.0.
Okay. And
it's 125 grams. And you said it felt heavier.
Did that lead to more chunking?
Well, it changed the timing of your swing. So if you look at your dispersion here, and this is the dispersion we don't want. This is the long and short dispersion.
Yeah.
Your contact's inconsistent. So that's an immediate no-go. So we're going to go back to
the other shaft
now and see if you really like it.
Okay.
Let's go that shaft in an X, and let's try the T200. So the 200's a little bit bigger of a head than the 100.
Okay.
And it's not a completely forged club. It's got a forged face that's applied onto the head. So there's, so it's a little more forgiving across but it's a player's distance club. One of the things I like what they changed about this versus the AP3 is it's a little bit shorter toe to heel, and it's a little less offset. So it looks a lot better. This is what I play. It looks a lot better to me than the AP3.
Okay.
Very similar performance, but they've improved the looks, and it definitely feels better going through the turf than.
Would you say out of the 3 heads that this is the most similar to the AP3?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. T-200.
Right. So even at your club speed, which is mid-90s, the X flex didn't work out for you. Where everyone thinks, well, high speed, extra stiff. It's not entirely true, and in your case, it's not. You actually, the stiff flex performed better because you're able to turn it over more easily.
Right.
Than the X. So let's try this head with the Modus 120 stiff.
Kevin Sprecher, taking the guesswork out of club fitting since 19-something.
Exactly.
Something.
Why guess when we can measure?
I'm gonna lay in that soon.
So again, right away you can see hit it straighter.
Yeah.
Tells me it's the right shaft.
Yeah, this shaft might be the winner here.
Yeah.
So the key is now we've identified the shaft.
Yep.
Picking the head.
Yeah, and like we were just discussing, that head goes farther. Okay. So it's a question of, the numbers are pretty similar. If we look at the average numbers, so these are your average 6,000 spin, 82 height, 166 carry. And if we go back to the T100, we're looking at a little bit more spin, same height, a little less carry. So now it's like, okay, what do you want as a player? If we're going off of pure numbers, I'm going to tell you the T200 performs better.
Okay.
As far as distance, dispersion is pretty similar. But as far as the launch, the spin, the carry, the T200 outperforms the T100 for you.
Okay.
Your miss hits with the T200, like I mentioned before, the thin ones are going to be better than with a T100.
Yeah, that sold me right there.
And that's
because
where
at a 12 handicap, miss hits happen a lot.
Yeah.
For me, and
it's actually a game of misses. It's how bad are your misses?
Right.
Like we're trying to get you to suck less.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where the T200 is going to come into play.
Okay.
Your miss hits are going to go a little bit farther and go a little bit straighter.
I think T200's our play, folks.
So we're going to go T200, 2 degrees up, Modus 120 stiff with whatever grip that you like.
Okay. All right. I feel good about it.
Good to go.
Yeah. You're up, Frank.
All right, Frank, you are up. What do you think, man?
I'm super excited because, like I said, I already saw, as much as we love the AP3s, you immediately saw some gains. So
Yes.
even the idea of getting more gains to me is exciting.
Exciting, right?
Really exciting.
Nice strike.
Kind of low spin, high trajectory.
Yeah, I definitely get a lot of height.
It's a good but you hit it high, but you have low spin, which is a good combination. So you rely on land angle to make the ball stop, not spin.
Yeah.
So your land angle is 52, which is actually pretty good. So this is only predicting about 7 yards a roll.
Right.
So I want to see if we can get your spin up a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe the flight down a little bit, but get a little more carry. So I'm going to go your shaft.
Okay.
But I'm going to go T300. It's a little bit bigger than what you're used to looking at, but it might perform in what we're looking for.
Okay.
So let's give it a whirl.
They're all pretty clubs, I'll tell you
They're
that
all
much.
gorgeous.
They're all pretty clubs.
Notice the difference in sound.
Yeah, definitely a difference in sound and a difference in look.
Yeah.
It definitely feels forgiving.
Yeah.
I want more consistency, so I want some forgiveness, but I also always wonder, is there a point you can go where you're too forgiving, where it's just like, I get a point where I can't work the ball as much as I want to work it? Or what's your thinking there?
The forgiveness of the head doesn't affect workability.
Okay.
To work, how you work the ball, draw, fade, high, low, is the player, not so much the club and the shaft.
Okay.
The head That's a little bit. It might launch a little bit higher, but it's not so much. There's no workability difference between a forge club and a cast club, and that's kind of a myth.
It's a myth you hear often.
You think, oh yeah, the forge club, the ball stays on the face longer, a little bit softer. No, the ball stays on the face the same amount of time.
Gotcha.
You know, it's just the bigger heads provide more MOI because you know there's more tungsten and whatever, so it's more forgiving, but it doesn't affect that.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. All right, so let's go a new club.
Okay.
So this is a T-200, all right? This is a Modus shaft, but it's a 105, so it's a little bit lighter.
Okay.
Than what you're used to.
And remembering back to our last fitting, we went with the 115 because at that time I was having trouble knowing where the club face was, so you gave me a little bit more weight.
Yeah.
At that
So
time.
we're trying to see if, you know, if you're different or if you still need the extra weight.
Got it.
So that kind of reconfirms that the light's not better for you.
Yeah.
So we got T-200 with your shaft.
All right, so we're still in the
300s.
T-100s.
100s.
And we're going with my shaft.
Okay.
115 gram. Kevin put me in these shafts last time because it helped me feel the club face a little bit better, a little bit more weight for me. Yeah.
You can see in the graph here, if we go to our dispersion graph here, the orange and the blue and the green circles are the T-100s, and they're actually way underperforming compared to the 300 and the 200. So I think what you may want to consider is the long irons go T-300. A little more forgiving club, which is what you want on the long irons.
Right.
And then for your 6 iron to your pitching wedge, more of the scoring clubs, go the T-200, more what you're used to looking at.
Yeah.
So I think for you, we go like that. I think you go long irons in the 300.
Yeah.
And mid to short irons in the 200.
I like that idea. I'm confident with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, ready?
Okay.
All right, so I feel like not only always come out of this learning something, but I feel a little bit more confident that we did get kind of what we were after. So Kevin, tell us a little bit first where we started and where we ended up.
So with Mike, we started with an AP3 with a 6.5 shaft, which is an extra stiff flex. We ended up with the T-200, which is a similar head to what you had before.
Right.
But we actually went to a little softer flex, a Modus 120. Now the Modus shafts do play a little bit stiffer, so even though it's stiff, it plays a little bit stiffer. But we were able to get your ball flight up a little bit, keep the spin about the same, increase your carry distance, and we increased your land angle.
Yes.
So you're gonna reduce those fairway flyers, like you're talking about the 9 iron to 180.
Right.
You're not gonna get those.
Yeah,
as
we don't
often.
want those.
We don't want those. You don't want to hit a good shot and now go over to the green.
Right.
Yeah.
So we went with that with you.
I like that what you said, like a good fit, make your misses better.
We make, and what was noticeably right away was your dispersion, which was pretty wide with your irons, got much narrower.
That's what I wanted. Sure.
With the Modus shaft, which is, I think the first thing he said is, I want more. You know, you guys were talking over there. I was listening, and he goes, "I want my dispersion to get better."
Yeah, there you go.
Which is kind of like I said before, it's the goal of the T series.
Yeah.
Improve dispersion.
There you go.
And for Frank, we tried multiple different shafts, and we ended up right back where we started.
But it was good to experiment.
Which is good, because we went last year. We went tried a lot of different shafts last year, and ended up with the same shaft. And for you, we're going to go a combo set. The T-300 actually performed better for you. It's harder to look at, so especially from the shorter irons. So we're going
for me anyway, because I'm more used to.
You're used to it,
right?
And a lot of these are. Look, I'm just going to give you the information, and you got to decide as a player, what do you feel confident playing?
Right.
So for the long irons, 4 iron, 5 iron, we're going to go T-300. And then for your short irons, your 6 iron down to your wedge is your pitching wedge. We're going to go T-200. And you got similar performance.
Yep.
Better looking club, I think. That's the one I play. I like the way they look. Again, same shaft.
Yeah, I like that too as another benefit of a fitting, because when you buy off the rack, you don't think about mixing and matching.
Right.
So we got that benefit of doing, and it's something honestly I hadn't thought too much about previous, where I thought, okay, you buy a new set of irons, you buy the series. But here, as part of that, you've kind of worked me into doing like a mix bag a little bit, and I think I like that game plan. I feel confident about that.
Yeah, and that's what's nice about the Titleist line is you can do that. You could, I mean, for some players, they'll go T300 long irons, T200 mid irons, and T100 shorter irons. It takes a specific kind of player to do that and how they do it. But I've seen T100 and CB, the 620 CB heads mixed in, and then for long irons they go utility. So you've seen a mixed bag,
real mixed bag,
real
mixed bag right there.
Yeah, but, and it's just finding the correct performance for the player.
Right.
And that's why when you come in, you guys ask me, what do you expect?
Yes.
And I don't want to say anything because I don't want to influence your decision. I don't want to influence my decision. I want to see what the numbers tell me and what you guys tell me as feedback. Because there's a balance between performance and feel and looks.
So you're not leading the witness. I like that earlier. I'm not going to tell Mike whether I like or don't like this shaft because that's going to influence how you're going to hit it.
Exactly.
So I mean, and I think another thing, it speaks to the whole line and the fact that there are so many options, so that you can do and you can mix and match it. So Kevin, we appreciate it. We're going to head into 2020 with these new set. Kill it again.
And someone else is going to head into 2020 with a new set.
That's right. Well. And hopefully, hey, who knows, one of our winners, if you're in the local area or you're willing to travel, you maybe get a chance to work with Kevin. Otherwise, just in general, even if you don't win our contest and you want to work with Kevin, how do they do that, Kevin?
The best way to find me is through my website, which is kevinsprecher.com. I'm also on social media at Kevin Sprecher. Throughout there, they can reach me through you guys.
That's right. There's a helicopter goes over. That's my ride.
Yeah.
We're headed out of here. Yeah, we're going to go play golf right now.
One day that'll be our ride.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So Kevin, of course, we appreciate it as always. Always great working with you. Always great working in this beautiful facility here at Sleepy Hollow. I'm really excited. And what do you say, usually when we order clubs like this, about how long they take to come in?
Usually takes 7 to 10 days for them to arrive at your door.
Oh, that's not bad at all. I'll be right here before our next round.
Exactly.
So we got to go pick some grips next, right?
We got to pick some grips out.
All right, let's go do that.
Kevin, we appreciate it.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right, so guys, happy to take you along with us in that experience again. Really excited to get the new clubs and see how they perform out there on the course in the coming months, but most excited obviously for this major giveaway. So like I said, don't forget, like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, because we're going to be doing a lot more information about the giveaway, including a full unboxing of the clubs when they arrive. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that, and hit that link in the video description for everything you need to do to get entered for free. Good luck to everybody in the giveaway, and can't wait to pick a winner and get somebody out there hooked up with a brand new set of T-Series irons. See you guys.